everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Going Live with Global Learning. My name is Elizabeth O'Brien, and I'm the International Student Services Specialist at Kirkwood, and fortunate to be your host for today's episode. And today we have our esteemed guest. I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Ferrier. I'm a Kirkwood online student, and I'm happy to be here today.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. We're really excited that you're here, too.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, you were telling me that you've gotten the chance to grow up and live in a few different countries. Could you tell us a little bit more about just what that was like for you?
Yeah. So I... do you want me to cover all the stuff?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
okay.
Pretend we haven't talked. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. So when I was 10 years old, my family and I moved to Guatemala to do mission work. And we lived there almost 4 years, just shy of 4 years. And so because we were moving our whole everything, we drove down there instead of flying down. And so I got the chance to not only live in Guatemala, but also pass through Mexico. I think we ended up driving the entire length 5 times in total.
Oh, my gosh.
And we did fly up a couple times. So we did mission work in Guatemala for 4 years. And then moved back in 2018, got to visit Canada for a conference. And then last year, 2 years ago, 2023 into 2024, I was doing church planning in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've gotten to know a decent part of the world and South America already.
Yeah. And last semester I went to Singapore, just for fun.
Okay, just for fun. No
Yeah.
big deal, right? All right, so there's a lot of cool things we could talk about. Let's start with your experience in Guatemala, just because it was the longest time you were there. What is it like living in a different country for 4 years?
When we moved back from Guatemala, I always found it really hard to talk about because people would say things like, "How was Guatemala?" And I would say, I don't know how to answer that question. Like, you asked for 4 years worth of content and like 3 sentences worth of things. So I'm feeling that now, but it's okay.
No, that's fair. That's very fair.
No, but I think I really appreciated getting to grow up in another country because it gave me a whole perspective on the world that was different than what a lot of people get to experience. And then in addition to that, like, it gave me a new sense of what the word home means. Which I think was very valuable. Mm-hmm. And, kind of difficult growing up because it's like, for a long time, America was my home. And then for a while, Guatemala was my home. And then I moved back and I didn't know where was my home. But I think that was just a unique perspective to get to have.
Yeah.
Like, especially as a Christian, I would always talk to my parents about it and say, like, oh, heaven is my home, you know? Mm-hmm. And I think getting that multicultural experience really confirmed that for me. It's like, sometimes life's unstable, and you move all over and you go everywhere. But as a Christian, like, I could always be like, oh, heaven is my home. Like, I'm grounded no matter where I am. So that honestly was really comforting to me. It was really nice.
Yeah, that does sound really nice.
Yeah.
I imagine it had to have been challenging, especially as a young child at 10 years old, to uproot everything and start again in Guatemala. So could you share a little bit more what you remember from that first year of living in Guatemala?
Yeah. It was very hard as you wouldn't really know it now, but actually as a kid, I was kind of insecure, kind of anxious. I was very attached to things. And actually that was a thing that I think Guatemala was really good for me for, because I had to detach from all my stuff and get rid of a lot of stuff. I think when we moved down, I had a box, a suitcase, and a backpack. And those were all of my earthly possessions. And, just that purging process really, helped me to focus on what was important. And then getting to be down there, also just, I got to experience so much. It kind of separated me from the possession side of it and more into, the experience side of life. And that was really nice.
You kind of felt like you were part of that community versus kind of on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
So could you tell us a little bit of what your life looked like down there? Maybe, an average day or just kind of some of the things that you would do on a daily basis living in Guatemala?
Yeah. So the first 2 years, my mom taught at, and my siblings and I attended a private Christian school. So on those days, it was most like everyone else. We'd wake up, get ready for the day, go to school. I was in 4th and 5th grade at the time, so did 4th and 5th grade. 1 year there was after school clubs, did that, and then you come home and do homework, and sometimes we'd have people over to the house, or, it was pretty, like, normal life. I think that's what people don't really realize about being overseas is, like, it's just normal life. The grocery stores look a little different and everyone speaks Spanish in my case, but, it was pretty normal life. But then also, because of the mission side of it, we got to do other fun stuff. So, like, on Friday night and Saturday morning, we got to go, and because of my parents helped at the Bible school, often we would go, and sometimes we'd help out. We'd do, like, attendance or staple stuff or, staple homework and stuff like that. But most of the time, we just, like, ran around outside, and it was fun and great. And then also we got to help out with an after-school program and, like, play cards with some kids and help at a women's shelter. It was really good.
Yeah. That sounds like a very enjoyable experience.
Yeah. But mostly just normal life.
The usual life.
I did school. I did homework. I had fun with my sisters. It was good.
How do you think living abroad at that age of your life changed you or impacted you as you grew up later on in years?
That's a good question. I think, like I said, just like the disconnecting from like the earthly possessions.
Yeah.
We talk about America being consumer culture, and I feel like having to step out of that was helpful to be able to see it from the outside.
Yeah.
And I think even sometimes other countries can be less that way. So it was cool to get a different perspective on sort of that side of life. And the home aspect that we talked about, I feel like it gave me an appreciation for like other cultures and other people's struggles, like not everything that I deal with here in America is everything that everyone else deals with, or like, I don't know, just there's so many different hardships and common struggles around the world. Like what's common to me might not be common to other people, and vice versa. And I think that was cool to be able to see the depth of that, because it's like, sure, Phil in my class has a different struggle than I do, but at the end of the day, we both still live in Cedar Rapids and shop at Hy-Vee, and you know what I mean? Like there's a commonality in life. It was cool to be able to see like the similarities and differences in people's lives versus in my life. Does that make sense?
Yes, no, that makes a lot of sense, because you're right. I think, when you're in one area for so long, everything that you experience becomes normalized. And then, sometimes it's easy to think, okay, the rest of the world, everything is so different or everything is so similar. But being abroad, it grounds you a little bit more in seeing, okay, yes, my challenges are my challenges, and that's what everyone else faces in the U.S., but here are some other challenges. And yes, at the end of the day, we all face challenges, but they're different and they're more nuanced. So yes, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yes. So fast forward a few years, then you guys go to Japan. Could you tell us a little bit more about how that experience, now that you're older and maybe the mission's slightly different, how that changed you?
Yeah. So that one was actually just me. My family didn't go along with me on that one.
Okay.
It was me and my church here in Cedar Rapids, Christian Life Church, is connected to like other churches around the world. It's sort of a part of a church network. Okay. And so the team that went with me, it was me and 2 young men from Nebraska and 2 young women from Mexico, and then a family who was from Canada but originally from Singapore and Malaysia. So it was like a very multicultural team, and we all moved to Japan together. So that was awesome, just awesome to have like so many different cultures in the house, and like I got to practice my Spanish with the Mexico girl, and that was great, super fun. Not so many opportunities to do that here, I feel like. Yeah. So that was really fun. It was cool to be able to do missions as an adult and not like from the child perspective, because obviously I was a help to my parents as a kid, but also it was my job to be a kid. I didn't do the homework at the Bible school, Yeah. And so it was really cool to be able to like have a hand in the work, and like I'm gonna go out and like do this and like accomplish this and make a difference for the gospel. Like that was really cool to be able to go and do that. What else did I want to say with that? Oh, my train of thought totally left me.
It's all right. No worries. It'll come back.
It'll come back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I feel like it was really cool being in Japan because a lot of what we did was like street evangelism and like just meeting people like out in the wild. And I feel like that experience really made me a better people person and easier, like maybe able to talk to people better and made me a lot more confident. So that was really cool. That was
it was
something
a little
I really
bit more like
appreciated
something
from
you
that
had to
time.
do
Yeah.
in the moment, right? There maybe isn't necessarily as much planning or forethought. Like you're like, oh, there's a person. Like, how can I interact and connect with them and build this rapport?
Yeah.
To have them be open to what I'm sharing with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even just like a big thing we wanted to do in Japan is just build a community, you know, and get to meet people and get to talk to people. So even if we weren't like going out and being like, hey, here's Jesus, like he loves you. Like even if we weren't like saying the things, like we're still like, oh, hi, like I'd love to meet you and have coffee with you. Like it was really, really relational.
Yeah.
So it was really cool just to be able to, you know, being overseas makes you step out of your culture or of your comfort zone anyway.
Yes,
and then being overseas, stepping out of your comfort zone and then also talking to people was like really growing. So that was good. Yeah. And fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, alongside that, I'm curious on, you know, now that you've been back in the U.S. for a little bit and you've had these experiences, what have you learned about yourself?
I don't think I like talking to people point blank on the street, but I'll do it. But I think I've learned I'm a lot friendlier than I thought I was.
Oh,
Yeah. So that's nice.
That is nice.
I'm a lot better at being uncomfortable than I thought I could be.
That's a big one. That takes some work to just be comfortable, knowing that you're not going to be comfortable and things are going to be changing all the time.
Yeah.
That's a hard trait to develop.
It's a good lesson to learn, though.
It is. Yeah. It is for sure.
Yeah. I can survive awkward situations better. That's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as you consider what the future holds for you and how do you think these experiences will shape your future and impact others around you?
Ever since I got back from Guatemala, I've wanted to go and travel more. I just love being overseas, so I'd love to go. I'd love to go travel more anywhere. I'll go anywhere. I feel like it's really given me an interest in foreign language.
Okay.
So I'm in Spanish. I'm pretty poor in Japanese. I'm working on Hebrew right now, but that's like really rough.
Oh, wow. Completely different alphabet at that point.
Oh, yeah. It's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's given me a different appreciation for different cultures and for different languages, and I'd love to go overseas again. And I feel like it's also given me like, you know, I get to come here and do this. And yeah, it's given me more boldness in talking to people from other countries, which is really fun because they have the best stories, you know? Like they're so fun to talk to, but yeah, it's great.
No, that's amazing. Have you given much thought on where you'd want to go next?
Anywhere the Lord sends me, I'd go anywhere.
Anywhere.
The world is a beautiful place, so I'd go anywhere.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yes. No, I think sometimes it's hard to narrow down where you want to go because it's just everything is neat. And especially with your experience, as you've said, it just really has opened your opportunities up in the way you view the world. So that's amazing.
And probably the places I would never think to go are the ones that I should go to the most, you know? Like, So I'd go anywhere.
Well, what else would you like to share? Was there anything else that you wanted to tell us today?
I don't know. Yeah. Honestly, I think I'm pretty good.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure to talk and hear more about your time in Guatemala and Japan. And yeah, I'm just amazed that you guys did that cross-country road trip for as long as you did. That's impressive. And thank you to all of you who joined us for this episode of Going Live with Global Learning. Tune in next week for another episode.